this session is on counting the cost of COVID. From a World Bank's perspective, what has been your view on the impact of COVID on African countries in general and in Nigeria specifically? What is your assessment of the impact?
Crisis like this is often what it takes to bring a nation together, to have that consensus within civil society at large, to say, look, we have to do something that departs from business as usual. And for Nigeria, this is a critical juncture.
For Nigeria to ever try to get out of the crisis, it must implement the National Infrastructural Master Plan.
In terms of the economic hardships, it affected us as most other states, but because we focused on the small businesses, we gave tax breaks to transporters, we gave palliatives to the vulnerable, we were able to absorb some of the adverse effects of the pandemic.
We are Transcorp. We say our purpose is to improve lives and transform Nigeria. Keeping that in mind, we must muscle through the pandemic, imbibe and reveal our resilient nature as a group, and just show by the sheer strength of our corporate governance and institutionalization process that we have in place to go through the pandemic.
Undoubtedly, we are in very deep crisis, but the happy side to it is that Nigeria is not alone. It's almost a global issue. As we speak, Nigeria may have entered into another round of recession, but it's still the fastest growing economy in Africa. Unlike before 2019, when the macroeconomic calculations looks to me a little incompetent, I think we are beginning to see some creativity and innovation.
So for us, as a state, as a subnational, it's tough. However, we just realize that as a government, you have a responsibility to yourself and your people to just focus on priorities, cut back on the costs, like the Prof and a few other people have continued to emphasize the cost of administration. There's a basic minimum which cannot go below.
At Transcorp, we are looking to build a world-class organization, a world-class corporate organization that will compete favorably with these Asian tigers and the US conglomerates, so that when we look at what our income is, our revenue, convert to any world currency that you want, it's something that is solid and is very strong. And now with what's going on with COVID, now more than ever, we would need that platform where the country is made more and more attractive, and there is direct support given to large corporates like we are. We've survived, we're thriving, and we're looking forward to next year, knowing that we'll stand out through. So if we want to have a sustained economy, we need to look and say, what more can we do? Can we do round table to say, okay, let's get around the table, let's talk. Yes, we want to deal with the SMEs and go, but you large corporates, what sort of support do you need? How can we do this together? How can we work through? How can we partner?
At the end of it all, we must now begin to move from a mindset of public sector, private sector. We must now focus on the Nigerian sector because they're independent. Fortunately for me, I was in the private sector. Now I'm in public sector, I'm in government. And that dichotomy, that false dichotomy that we created for ourselves, except we begin to merge, we will find out that at the end of the day, we all not benefit as much as we could have, unless we learn to work together and stop this buck passing and blame trading.
You need to model the entire expenditure structure and begin to benchmark what should go to, overhead, what should go to capital. It can't happen overnight, but you can begin to iterate. Secondly, every sector of the economy through the MDAs needs to articulate specific productivity plans with agreed national benchmarks. And this must necessarily be integrated into the successor ERGP plan. We need to activate a national waste reduction strategy that is linked to a new national maintenance management policy and a new national asset efficiency scheme around a redefined principle for the national for managing the infrastructure and assets. Whatever benchmark is agreed to in terms of the ratio of capital to recurrent, haven't been benchmarked, should be legislated and begin. Then you now begin to implement a reduction plan, and of course that will take a bit of a decade to implement.
As we look forward to how Nigeria will get through this, and not just get through it, but realize its full potential. Keep in mind that Nigeria, without any effort, is the largest economy in Africa. Ultimately, it's going to be about freeing up the private sector. There's no country that has grown, eliminated poverty without private investment and job creation. Nigeria versus the global economy. Do you want to kind of protect yourself from global economic forces, or do you want to strengthen internally to compete?
It's what we are looking at Transco. We have very strong confidence in Nigeria, and that is driven and continues to drive our investments in the power sector, hospitality sector, and the oil and gas. But it's one that has also shown that Nigerians are made of grits. We are strong and we're resilient. And this is the kind of innovation that we're driving at Transcorp Hotel. We'll recognize that the world is moving, and we will continue to drive and move with the world. Without power, the vision for Nigeria will not be realized. So as people who believe in Nigeria, we've gone on to invest in another generating company, taking us closer to our medium-term goal of generating 25% of Nigeria's power sector, of Nigeria power requirements.